Namaste, Angel. It's going to be a client reading for a woman about whom I know absolutely nothing. I received the order this morning, and then I said, you can share with me, whatever you want to share with me, or not. You don't have to. There goes an orb. Or not. You don't have to. And she said, okay, well, then I won't. And so I know nothing about her except for the name on her email. And what I've seen thus far, there looks like there has been, or there is, a need for healing. I'm beginning with forgiveness. That's not the only reason why I say that, though. I've seen a few cards that would indicate a need for healing. So that's from where we're beginning. Let's go. Forgiveness and opening to Moon Tree. Okay, that's awesome. Moon Tree is representative of sacred union, sacred marriage. The card talks about the marriage between heaven and earth, and that between two, divine beings as well. Awesome. And opposite forgiveness, it would seem right off the bat, there's a need for forgiveness with regard to a union, a romantic partnership. Forgiveness and meditation. Here comes the healing. Told you. Maybe to come to a place where you are able to forgive. A lot of us suffer from the inability to forgive, including ourselves. Like we hold on to guilt and all kinds of stuff like that, resentment and whatnot. And so the meditation can help with that. And also to manifest what it is you want and you feel you need in your life. Answer prayer. Answer prayer representative for me of air signs and water signs, and most specifically of those Aquarius and Scorpio respectively, but can be either. And more importantly, it is about answer prayer, like dreams coming true, wishes being granted by the universe, our intentions being manifested, manifesting into reality. And also opening to the mystic, which also represents air and water for me, and of the air, most specifically, again, Aquarius, but it could be any sign, Gemini, Libra as well, or any zodiac sign. Mystic, sort of like the high priestess, guides us to pay close attention to our intuition and any signs, synchronicities, to consider the things that are around us and messages that the universe tries to send. The universe is always like communicating with us. We just have to pay attention. And meditation is one of the ways that we can do that. Opening also to emergence. So this too indicative of healing going on and maybe the need for continued, because whatever we've been through thus far has helped us to reach this point where we're no longer in that deep, dark area, but still seeking the light, right? Continuing to seek more and more light. Rising, however, from the ashes like the phoenix. Meditation. And it's another one, balance. This card very much like the temperance card in the traditional tarot from a temperance, which represents the sign of Sagittarius. But also on this card, more air and water tends to come out with all the white, the smoke. It's like air, and then these spheres that are over, what I would call the communication centers, the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, the crown chakra. There's one on his head, and this blue woman beside him that appears to be nurturing him. So it's a lot of air and water, but it does come through like temperance, which again represents the sign of Sagittarius, even though on most decks that I've seen, it tends to be, a being, often an angelic being, that's a water bearer, that's an Aquarius, but they're literally holding a water vessel and standing in a pool or like a river or something. But whatever, I digress. However, that is what comes through for me. Air, water, and also Sagittarius. But more importantly, temperance and balance, about restoration. So opposite meditation, definitely, again, it goes toward healing. The need for healing and the going through the process of healing. Restoration to wholeness, to balance, to equilibrium. balance, and one more. Tantric union, very nice. So this is another means of communication, often with the universe, can be with a partner too. And it does not have to be on this plane of existence. It does not have to be in 3D, often in 5. Through dreams, it could be daydreams, telepathic communication. We connect, tantric union. And that can be a means toward the healing too. Tantric union. I'm going to cut. And it's relationship, which is yet another card indicative of a healing process going on and or the need for healing. The relationship card says that if I want to have better relationships with other people, I need to work on the one I have with myself. So this too being something that meditation can help with. And the overall energy is inner child. And this card too, very much so about air signs for me, and most specifically Aquarius. With, again, the communication centers very precisely being marked by these stars. The star in the tarot, in the traditional tarot, major arcana card, the star, card number 17, represents the planet Uranus in the sign of Aquarius, which it rules. All air signs are about communication. In fact, Gemini is referred to as the great communicator of the zodiac. But Aquarius, mostly for me, is the one that comes through sort of specifically as electronic communication. And in that electronic communication, I include telepathy. And that's what I feel most strongly coming through for you. Whether you're like aware of how to do it or not, that is going to be a means of communication for you. So it can come through your dreams. Archangel Michael in particular likes to come in dreams. Or work with us in dreams, send us messages that we wake up with stuff on our mind. We need to write it down so that we remember it. And maybe one day, or later on can make sense of it or something. This can have to do with online communication, not only telepathic, any kind of communication, period. But I most strongly, from Aquarius, I'm most strongly associated with electronic. Divine feminine, about herself. The masculine, about the feminine, of course, all as it relates to the union, himself, and the union as a whole. Overall, what the masculine would have the feminine to do, contribute, surrender toward bringing this union together. What he himself is willing to, his higher self guiding him to do, and what the universe would have the two do. This would be the outcome. Wow, boom. I opened right before to Moon Tree, which again represents sacred marriage. And now we're starting this spread with sacred union. How beautiful. So this is the feminine's higher self, very intent on communicating to her, if she was unsure already, that she is, one half of this divine partnership. Beautiful. Masculine as it relates to the feminine, fear. I had this in another client reading this week in this placement. Fear. So maybe he's the one. We all could always stand, for healing and to learn more and all that. But of the two of you, perhaps all those cards that I was seeing that indicated that there was a need for healing, perhaps they refer to him. Although it does not have to be one or the other. It can be both. So he's afraid, probably of this. And he would not be alone there. Dreams coming through. I told you I felt mostly telepathic in dreams for you guys for communication. Dreams coming through. So this may be, and tantric with tantric union too, this may be his communication means, you know, his media of choice might be through the dreams. And we see we have the same colors with these two cards, the dreams and the sacred union. He's probably communicating with you about this in the dreams because he is not confident enough or comfortable enough being vulnerable to do it on this plane. About the union as a whole. More of the same, they're all the same colors. The fear is the only one that has all this yellow and red and orange, mostly yellow though. He probably needs to work on his solar plexus chakra, most of all. And many would say, or many do say, that that's actually where like our soul is located, in our gut, in our stomach, solar plexus. And so that's why we feel gut feelings. That's why we get butterflies in our stomach, all of this sort of thing. And so if we can work to heal and strengthen that area, that it also translates into a higher consciousness, if that makes any sense. But getting back to these, I love when they select like these color schemes. So the communication also coming through from the universe to each of you, respectfully and respectively, but communication between the two, or at least from the masculine to you, through these means also. And each, again, paying attention and needing this, with this moon here, this is an indication of the need to surrender, as far as I'm concerned. Moons are recognized by many, if not most, as feminine energy, but more specifically for me, feminine energy of surrender is what they're best used for, or what they may be best used for. But we should take advantage of the energy when there's a moon cycle to, you know, ask the universe to send us that energy, allow us to use it to help us to be more vulnerable and to surrender and to, you know, just have more faith and are able to move into that place where we just say like, you know, okay, you're in charge. You go, you do with me what you will. Fine, I give up. Not I give up in a negative way, but I give up like this control that I've been trying to have. Let me see that. And in this case, so not only giving up the control we've been trying to have, but giving up control we've been trying to have, and then listening and following the guidance. Like we can just get guidance and, oh yeah, that makes sense. I resonate with that, and then we don't follow it. Because, you know, we do that often. So it's important when this card shows up to not do that. It's also a reminder of how, you know, the guidance and the assistance from the universe is always available to us and will always be. It is infinite. Overall, embrace. So this is another one of these cards, similar to the balance one from the beginning as I was shuffling, that is about like the energy of temperance for me and being made whole. It looks like a couple in a very loving embrace, you know, beautiful, loving embrace. But really it's one person's inner masculine and feminine coming together. So one person needs to come into a place of strength, of wholeness, of restoration. And again, perhaps more so than you, that may be the masculine. You know, he is in balance, perhaps, and that's what causes the fear. With this sitting here atop the fear, I don't want to say that he doesn't feel whole, because that's not what I'm getting. But scattered energy. So maybe not whole in that sense, like all, you know, everything's all broken up and going every which way. And so he needs this, the inner masculine And I guess the inner child too. Here's your overall energy is inner child. And underneath that is the meditation upright also. I'm picturing, what movie or thing is that? It's like a person like shattering like glass, like pieces that need to come together like pixels is what I can see. Yeah, I can best describe it as scattered energy. I'm sorry. And so this is here to help him to become restored. But it's a place where both the inner masculine and feminine need to be healed sort of separately and then come together harmoniously. What would the masculine have you do toward the union here? Listen for these messages and be receptive to them. Pay attention. The signs, the synchronicity that the universe sends you and that he is sending you, that his higher self is sending you, to be receptive and open to it. This can also be about communication on this plane. You know, it can be literal, like a long distance phone call or something, or again, an online communication, email, social media, something. But very important to, again, pay attention to signs, synchronicity, and like telepathic communication and communication through dreams. And now we're bringing more of these colors in that are in the fear card. Because it's like he may have otherwise have a fear of communication, of reaching out. And so we're doing it this way instead. There's passion here, though. All this red, yellow, orange again. What is he willing to do? This more, this passion, this fiery energy, like fire signs maybe. Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. Could even be Scorpio. Scorpio ruled by Mars, the red planet. Transmutation. So now we're doing this color scheme. Okay. Transmutation is where we take energy like this, fear, and other negative emotions, right? Ego, pride, again, the inability to forgive, resentment, regret, guilt. And we take all those negative emotions and instead of allowing them to burn away at us, eat us up inside, solar plexus, eat away at our stomach, This is why people get those sort of stomach conditions too. Because of things like fear and whatnot and holding in negative emotion. We build up like a stomach acid. Same way like you run your blood pressure up, all that kind of stuff is the same. Holding in these feelings causes like stress-related health concerns. It just does. But we can instead do something really beautiful with that energy, right? And channel it or transmute it, in other words, into love instead. And in doing that, we also help ourselves to ascend too. We make ourselves lighter, spiritually, emotionally, and our spirits rise. Transmutation. Beautiful. It's part of this healing. I like it, that he's like the first step is recognizing that we have an issue and then, addressing it. So he should be proud of himself. What would the universe have the two of you to do? It's the healing. You believe this? How funny is this? Well, not funny, haha, of course. But just, and another color scheme. He's very creative, your masculine and his higher self. Look at these two cards sitting next to each other. Same, not only the same colors, but the same sort of graffiti style of art on them as well. This card is about the need for healing from head to toe and the need to allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to receive it. This woman here is in a completely vulnerable state. She is in full surrender. She's nude. Her head is turned to the side. She's not even facing, what's coming toward her. Her eyes are closed. I mean, you can't really get much more vulnerable than that. And she's allowing herself to be healed head to toe. That's what the universe would have the two of you to do. And the outcome is love. And another color scheme. Is he an artist? Because these palettes that we have going, this one is of the red, orange, yellow, and pink. But the outcome is love. How beautiful is that? What a great way to start. Sacred union, sacred marriage, all of these beautiful colors matching and coming together, telling a story of their own. I like this reading. So that was your masculine's perspective, his higher self. Let's see what the universe has to say, beginning with courting man. An opening to true gem. Well, I did see a lot of air sign energy. Maybe he's a Gemini or somebody's a Gemini. I guess I said him because it's opposite courting man here. True gem. And new love. True gem can also be about, just value, worth, and feeling worthy as well. True gem, it can be representative of Venus for me, and the other signs that she rules. Venus as the Queen of Air. She's also a ruler of Libra, ruler of Taurus. It's not just Gemini. And opening to family, which can be representative of some sort of party of three. Parties of three come in many different kinds. Sometimes I feel, that it's a couple and the divine. Sometimes it's just, an outside influence, can be, and it's like a neutral thing because it can go either way. It's not necessarily negative. It can be a positive outside influence, but there's a third energy that's, quite possibly an actual person that's impactful upon the union. And then, of course, you have your love triangles and things like that, too. Thus far, I haven't seen any evidence of that, but we'll see. We're going to keep going. So, true gem. Oh. How the hell? I'm like, I hope I didn't manifest that. No, I can't. I mean, this must be going on. I guess I was feeling it, and it didn't come through as a specific message that this would pop up, but here it is. So this is another potential party of three, and still not necessarily a love triangle, although that is what the card is entitled. Triangle. And speaking of Venus too, I'm just talking everybody and everything up today. Ice Queen. And Ice Queen. If there's a choice to be made between an air sign, maybe perhaps specifically a Gemini and somebody else, that can be her saying, pick the Gemini. Or maybe a Gemini has a choice to make, or an air sign has a choice to make. And coming to young male. Overall energy is wallflower, which if I'm going to relate this to zodiac signs, I tend to do that with Capricorn, Scorpio, and again, Gemini. And those three for me are the three who would be invited to the party, who people would want at the party, who could be the life of the party if they allowed themselves to, but also have the propensity to want to be to themselves and alone and sit it out. And so like the song, when I see this card, it brings up that sort of energy. Like if you get an opportunity to engage in life and to be a willing participant in life, to sit it out or dance. I hope you dance. There's people surrounding this woman. They are dancing. And then she's sitting here on the chair. So she's sort of like sitting life out. And so when this card shows up, it's a reminder that when an opportunity comes by, don't like Four of Cups. If you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. Divine couple, recent past, masculine's higher self, blocks to the union. I'm sorry, no. Well, should I move it here? No. Near future, blocks to the union. The feminine can do, the masculine can do. Further advice from the universe. And the outcome. I don't know if it was clear what just happened. I put this card here in the near future placement, and I called it blocks to the union. So then I was wondering for a moment if I should move it into the blocks to the union position, and I heard no, so I did not. Divine couple, represented by the courting man. So moving into an energy where we may be exchanging, building up that confidence and ready to exchange energy in a better way, like reintroducing oneself to the other. Recent past. True gem. So there could have been a recent revelation of self-worth or the value of another or of a relationship. Again, an actual Gemini or air sign. There's a sign represented by Venus, ruled by Venus, might be involved. We're going to continue to go further and see what. Near future, karma. I got in that moment that there had been a shift, a change when Venus was in Gemini. And today she moved into Cancer. And so that's why the near future, we're going to experience, there's going to be some karmic completion, lessons and or completion. I felt and heard completion first, so mostly that. Masculine's higher self. Triangle. Okay, makes sense with the near future, the energy of the karmic completion that is coming. It'll be during this period of Venus in Cancer, which again began today, 5/19. Blocks to the union. Ice Queen, Venus. But it's not Venus herself. So the planet and goddess of love would not be a block to the union. It's Venus in Cancer. And perhaps an actual Cancer or Leo or Leo Cancer. Or a Gemini. I mean, I don't know what I'm not getting in what position each person would be. But I can tell you those I can tell you that again, there was a shift during the Venus in Gemini, and now with Venus in Cancer, there's going to be some karmic completion. So whatever this is, this triangle is, and whatever type of triangle it is, if we don't get to see that in these other cards, which we very well may, and I may feel and hear and see other things too. But whether that happens or not, this, whatever this represents, is going to play out in the very near future. What can the feminine do in the general sense? Young male. This might be her son. I don't know if this is the masculine. I mean, there can be an age difference between them too. But I first heard child. Sometimes we ourselves are the child as well, though. And I did have that overall energy in the last spread of inner child. That can be representative of this too. I'm going to go on and see what else comes. What can the masculine do here? Dating. Well, this goes very nice with the courting man. And there's more moon. So there's this need to surrender again and allow like what wants to happen, and what's meant to be, and what will be to be. This can also be speaking to the timing again too. And that something may happen around the full moon, which I believe the full moon is the 29th. So again, today is the 19th, 10 days. Venus would still be in Cancer at that point. Now I'm looking at these two crossing as well. There's a Gemini moon, June 13th. I think something happens around the full one though, the Cancer, while Cancer's in Gemini. And this third party may be a past love and something that has to play out with them. Something karmic that has to play out with them. That will play out with them in over the next few weeks. And the outcome is dating queen. So again, somebody's going to have to make a choice. There's another party of three situation here. One or both of you is going to have to make a choice. This card also about, it's like very Empress-like in that Venus as the Empress and as a planet it's like rules popularity and confidence and like everything that's awesome, beauty. And so the outcome is also that those kinds of feelings and emotions and everybody feeling good about themselves and, you know, strong enough to power forward. So sort of Empress, but also sort of three of fire and like coming up with creative ways to bring about our own outcome. So like a choice could have to do with that. That would be us engaging, being a willing participant, deciding to dance rather than sit it out and making a choice, taking action. Fire cards or like the red cards tend to be about action and movement. So there would be that. But also creative ways to bring about abundance as it relates to also things about which we're passionate and perhaps about people about whom we're passionate as well. So a lot of good energy with this too, but with this card and this outcome, but also it can be tied to a party of 3 and likely will be, with the masculine's higher self being represented by triangle. Overall, I feel it was good anyway, because, I mean, we have to work through these karmic things. So, you know, whatever comes with them, we might not like all of that, but not going through the karma, not completing it, not learning the lessons means to remain where we are, means to not progress. So actually going through these lessons and completing the karma is positive no matter what they actually entail. If that made any sense. I'm not sure how clear I was there, but hopefully you get what I was saying. So speaking of Cancer and karmic energy and all that, I'm beginning with the Chariot, which does represent the sign of Cancer in the tarot, perhaps another water sign. The card in general is otherwise positive. However, it's a card of victory and of movement. I just finished talking about movement and action with that last card. This is similar. It's an action card. It's a card of movement, card of moving. It can be of actual travel, physical travel. It can be metaphorical in that, you know, we're moving forward in that sense. We're not physically moving anywhere, but we're moving forward energetically. And that's certainly happening from what we just saw. It's a card of victory too. So having overcome whatever difficulties we had, and now, you know, taking life by the reins, getting in the driver's seat of our own lives. We're in charge now. Maybe, you know, putting an end to manipulation, manipulators, toxic relationships, karma, karmic relationships. All of that can be represented by this. Also planes, trains, automobiles, vacations, so much. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. An opening to the Knight of Water is emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative. Falling in love or wedding proposals, the need to balance emotions, and an invitation to a social event. The Knight of Water can easily be a Cancer here, Scorpio or Pisces, or anybody likened to these traits or attributes. But as a court card, may be an actual person in your life, a water sign that's impactful upon you. Chariot, an opening to the Page of Earth, who is scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. Also a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. Good news about financial matters, wanting to do something more challenging in a new area of study. Anybody likened to these traits or attributes may be in your life as the Page of Earth. It's also a sign of, yes, good news about financial matters. So if you've been holding out, waiting for some news, that's coming. When this card shows up, it can be a good opportunity to, you know, pick up a vocation that you've been wanting to work on or learn. Can be about going back to school, and it can also be about just life experience, right? The school of hard knocks, learning lessons, karmic completion. All of that can be represented by the Page of Earth too. This can also be here about Taurus. Right now we have a lot of energy in Taurus. Uranus, which is a big one, into Taurus, and it's going to be there for the next 8 years, and that was a major shift. Also, the moon that we just had this week, the new moon, is also in Taurus. So that can be why that showed up as well. Chariot, and opening to the Five of Water. Things not turning out the way you hoped. Not seeing the positive in a situation and crying over spilled milk. The Five of Water is one of my least favorite cards in the tarot because I find it so obnoxious, because it's really about someone who's blessed and can't see the positive. That's like what I just tried to explain a moment ago. For example, we don't want to experience karma, even though karma can sometimes be good. We'd rather not experience karma in case it's not going to be good. especially if it involves a third party, right? We don't want to take that risk typically as humans. But going through and completing that karma and getting past those things is positive. So it's like that. Yeah, there may be something that you rather not experience, but you know, when you're so blessed, like I didn't win the lottery today, but I still have money to pay my bills. You know, I have a roof over my head, clothes on my back, food in my belly, a mode of transportation. Maybe I'll win the lottery some other time. I'm not going to harp on it. It's that sort of thing. And it can be representative of the relationship too. Like so, and maybe this involves, again, a party of three. There's 3 cups laying on the ground. These spilled out. Something went wrong here. But you still have this divine connection and something for which to be thankful. 5 of water. And the 7 of fire. Defend your beliefs and decisions. Stand your ground, but choose your battles wisely. So that just means basically what it says. Like, we're not going to fight every fight, but if somebody tries to play us, we're not going to allow that to happen either. You know, we're not going to let anybody push us around. Again, we're in the driver's seat now of our own lives. We're not allowing ourselves to be manipulated. You're not going to talk me out of what I want. I've made a decision about my life. You don't get to, you know, dictate what decision I should have made and any of that. Like, you know, if that's been going on, it's somebody putting their foot down to stop that sort of thing. And coming to the 5 of earth, fears surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, and uncertain self-employment. So, for example, you've made a decision, but you're a little fearful. I mean, you've made a decision and you're planning on sticking to it, but you're a little fearful. Someone comes and whispers into your ear that you should avoid this, and there goes your confidence, and you change your mind, and then you don't do what you want to do. That's the danger. So the idea is to remain firm about what it is you want and any decisions you've made. 5 of earth can be concern, not even real loss, just concern about, you know, potential loss or lack of money or love, any kind of abundance. As it relates to love, it often shows up for me as like fear of abandonment, fear of commitment, those sort of things. Somebody could have given something up with the 7 of fire opposite the 5 of earth. It's maybe not a loss in the sense that it's something that escaped you or someone that escaped you. It could be something you gave up and you're holding firm to that decision. No, I don't want to get back together. No, I don't want to go back to that job. Like, I finally left. No, I don't want to, you know, whatever it is. I'm going to cut. And the overall energy is justice, which represents, again, the planet Venus, ruler of the sign of Libra, which this card represents. Also can be about another air sign, Gemini, Aquarius. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. 8's also about karma, yet again. And now the overall energy is the Ace of Earth, the inflow of abundance, a promising business venture, important documents or contracts. Crowning the masculine, the 9 of earth, enjoying life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone, and successful self-employment. Very nice. This also about the need to go within. Remember the other card, relationship, and I said it's about figuring out the relationship you have with yourself first so you can have a relationship with others. The 9 of earth is similar to that. Spending time with you right? Doing the things that you like so that you can get to know you better and to like you better and even to love you. And then that in turn will also help you to be able to do the same with others. And also about having the resources that you need to do that. So if it's money, you know, enough money to go down to the bar and buy yourself a drink, or to go down to the massage parlor and get a massage, or whatever it is, you're able to do that too. Surrounding the masculine, very nice. The 10 of Earth, a very happy family life, financial security, and finding magic in the little things in life. A nice progression here too from the 9 to the 10. But I should say, in his subconscious, on his mind, it's the fear and the lack. So not only fear as it relates to love, fear as it relates to money too. I mean, maybe there's a connection between them. Fear surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, and uncertain self-employment. Again, this can be connected to relationships also, and manifest as a fear of abandonment, a fear of commitment, those sort of things. Crowning the feminine, it's that 7 of fire. That's also back. Defend your beliefs and decisions. Stand your ground, but choose your battles wisely. Surrounding the feminine, justice is also back. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right and stand up for your beliefs. So here you made a decision and you are to stand by it and not to allow anybody to push you around. And here you got to just like make sure that you've done the right thing, you know, for you and by yourself. You know, a lot of times we do the right thing by other people, and we don't consider ourselves. So this is about being fair and diplomatic. And in those cases, but in the end, or for the most part, it's beneficial to all involved. And in your subconscious, the strength to go through this. This could be involving an actual legal matter, because I haven't said it, but I've been feeling like for a while now. I don't even remember what it was that first prompted me, but I've been feeling like maybe divorce or something like that, some sort of family court or something. So it can actually be legality. There goes some sirens. There can be some actual legality involved here, but if not, it's about, like I said, equality and fairness and diplomacy, equity between partners, and the strength to make it through, to stand by your decision and to make it through whatever this process is. Great inner strength. Release harsh judgments. Instead, exercise some forgiveness and compassion. Major Arcana card Strength represents the sign of Leo. Again, Justice is Libra. Crowning, it's Awakening. Major Arcana card Awakening, or the Hanged Man. Look at things from a different perspective. You're at a temporary standstill that allows you to do that. It's important to be yourself and to be honest about what that is and who that is while you're in this place. The Hangman represents the planet Neptune for me, and the sign of Pisces, which it rules, which can be about that dreamy, foggy energy and trying to come to a decision and the need to come to a decision. Often it can represent also having a lot of options and choices and needing to make one. It can be about not being necessarily clear-headed either. And that's part of the reason why it's important to take advantage of the pause, where if there's an air of suspension, to take advantage of that opportunity to, all right, let me get my thoughts together. Let me get, try to get some clarity here so I can make a decision that's, a lucid one. This is what the Hangman energy allows for. Represents the sign of Pisces again for me. At the root, there's that 3 of fire that we ended up with. We ended up with that card from the last spread. I said it felt like the 3 of fire to me. Here's the actual 3 of fire at the root. Abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time and make long-term plans. 3 of fire can also be representative of a party of 3. Not necessarily a love triangle, but definitely a possibility. At the heart of the matter, it's the 5 of fire, competing goals, bothersome details, and conflict with others. The 5 of fire, from a positive standpoint, we're guided to look at several perspectives with the hangman. From a positive standpoint, it's a card. It can represent, for me, the planet Mars, even though it's not a court card. And the action, right? There's a need to take action. Change requires action. So this can be deciding to dance rather than to sit it out from a positive point of view. Where it has negative connotations, and I'm noticing here, like we're going up the line from the odd numbers, 3, 5, 7 with the fire. Where it does relate to conflict, which 5s in general can be about conflict, drama, again, the need for a change in energy. It's typically inner conflict, right? Some sort of internal struggle through which one may be going. And that would explain the need to spend some time by yourself, getting to know yourself better, which is still positive in the end. And if it's not an internal struggle, then it's with other people. Most often, for me, with the 5 of fire, it's conflict with our close friends and or family. That family could include, spouses or former spouses too, especially if they are the parent, the other parent to our children. Can definitely be the case. Let's further clarify these, though, and get a better understanding of what may be happening by using the Doreen Virtue Romance Angels. And beginning with heart-to-heart conversations, honestly discuss your feelings with each other. And opening to attraction, which is about the law of attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So that's why it's so important to put positive energy out and to be diplomatic and fair, because as it relates to karma, that's what we're going to manifest too. That's what's coming back to us. Heart-to-heart conversations. And speaking of being positive, stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith is what's going to bring you romance. So again, it's important to put positive energy out because that is what comes back to us. Heart-to-heart conversations. And this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. Heart-to-heart conversations and getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. I'm going to cut. Free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. Again, like I said, I had been feeling something, not necessarily only on the part of the feminine. I was just feeling in general that somebody was married or something, and if not, there was a need for a divorce, and if not married in that sense, like married to something from which they needed to break away. Even if it's like married to a circumstance, married to a situation, something has to end, and here's confirmation of that. It's time to take back control of your life. Could definitely be connected to the energy of the Chariot, which could be connected further to that, specifically to that karmic energy and the energy of Cancer. Connecting all the spreads, that's possible. Remember I said the Chariot was about taking back control of your own life, taking your life by the reins. To do that, we'll also need to let go of control issues, which I also spoke about, and allow this situation instead to unfold naturally. That's your overall energy. Atop the Nine of Earth, you deserve love. You are lovable. With the arrow aiming over here, this energy of Sagittarius yet again showing up, and Cupid more specifically, shooting right at toward the feminine. Awesome. So that's one of the things that he'll learn and realize, have a revelation about when he's spending time with him. Atop the Ten of Earth, you attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So the Ten of Earth is a card of abundance. And how do we bring in abundance? Using the law of attraction. The manifestation is to make these positive intentions, again, and send positive energy out into the universe. And that is, in fact, what will show up by us as well. Atop the Five of Earth, in this feeling of loss and lack and shortage, it's connected to a past life relationship. So could be that third party, or a relationship that the masculine has had that lacked, and he, as much as he wants love and deserves love and would love to have it, fear comes up because what if that happens again? What if it's crappy like last time? What if I get my heart broken like last time? Again, I said fear of commitment, fear of abandonment, all issues that could even come from childhood. They could be connected to that inner child too, with something that went on with his family. Like I said, we could be the children. These cards always take on multiple meanings too. So it can be about somebody's son, and it can be where you're the child yourself. He's the child himself. And we go through these experiences and we hold on to them. We carry them, unfortunately, into our future lives. And then they manifest like this. And the feminine chemistry atop the Seven of Fire. The strong magnetic attraction here. So whatever you decided, it's something about what you're passionate, which again, fire or wands cards demonstrate that these are things about which we are passionate and that are moving forward. So that's good. Atop Major Arcana card 8, Justice. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. So if you've been waiting for a situation to work out, whether it is an actual legal situation or not, you've been waiting for it to work itself out, or for you to be in a place where you're able to work it out and resolve it, patience may be required there, but you'll be happy in the end. The universe is instrumental in whatever this is that's going on. And that makes sense, right? Because 8s represent karma again. So karma or karmic energy is energy that is of the universe, that is connected to destiny. So it makes sense that the universe is instrumental in the timing here. We just have to allow it to play out. Atop Strength, which is another fire card, Major Arcana card number 11, which represents the sign of Leo. Some more fire, is passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. And somebody, may be an actual Leo, or have, someone rising, or have fire energy, the element of fire in their chart kind of heavily. We've seen quite a bit of fire, actually. Atop Awakening, or the Hanged Man, is calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. And this is crowning, so it's like on both sides, both of you sharing this energy and calling, one calling in the other. Atop the Three of Fire is let your friends help you. Ask for, and accept support from others. I was going to say allow your friends to be there for you. Same thing. And these can be actual friends. There's another 3 people here, and there's 3 people here. They're in wedding attire, and they're actually trying to work on something. We did see that ring. Well, there's 4 people here. So 4 sitting down here. This one is a child. Oh, and here's another person. 5 people here. This is a bride. These are like ladies in waiting. If you have actual friends on this plane that can help you through some of these at least be there for you in some of these situations, like a support system or whatever, I would definitely call upon them. If there is an occasion to help you to prepare for an actual event as well, because I keep being drawn back to their clothes that they're dressed for a wedding. You know, look to your friends for that too. I'm like hearing and feeling all kinds of things. I apologize. But also when I get this card, it tends to direct me toward the universe and calling upon, you know, my guides, the angels, God, you know, to whatever energy higher than myself I feel drawn to in the moment. You know, those are my friends, and that's upon whom I call. At the heart of the matter, atop the 5 of fire, it is about action. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. And this too shared between the two of you. It will require, you know, the shaking off of the fear. And the belief that we deserve love and the understanding of ourselves. So again, I'm feeling mostly on them and seeing that mostly on the masculine side appears to be where the convincing has to be done. You know, some self-awareness. From the Tony Carmine Salerno Universal Love Oracle to the masculine. Yep. Relationship is back. So again, he's guided to work on the relationship he has with himself, just as this 9 of Earth guides him to do, until he can get to this place where he truly believes that he deserves love and that he is lovable. And so he can feel about that in an honest way about somebody else and go after it, go for it. To you, spiritual growth. So whereas you may have been impatient before, reactionary comes to mind. That changing. Having gone through a shift, experience a shift, you know, becoming more spiritually and emotionally mature and mellowed out. Just good. To the masculine from the hashtag creepy deck, soulmate, who is currently being called in. Also, I'm feeling applies to the or a karmic soul, quote unquote karmic soulmate as well, with whom he has to work something out. And even that still doesn't mean like a necessarily romantic partner or former romantic partner even, although it could be. But there's all different kinds of soulmates, and there's definitely somebody with whom he has to work something out. That doesn't mean you guys can't work on your thing in the meantime, though. Communication. And I'm sure this is attached to express your love and message from afar as well. So you have to be in a place where you are similar to what came up for you in, I believe it was the second spread, where you have to be receptive to receiving contact, initiating contact, both. Communication. From the Angel Tarot to the masculine, the 4 of fire, contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, and the successful completion of a project. Well, here we have a positive progression from the 3 of fire for the masculine at least up to this 4. 4 of fire could be about wedding. I kept feeling and hearing event. And I saw it and felt it. I didn't say anything, which I got to stop doing that. the spread that I did from the perspective of the universe, with when the true Jim card showed up as in the recent past, I felt some sort of event too. And I guess, possibly engagement, or the considering of engagement, or, buying a ring or something. This could be that too. The Four of Fire, easily representative of commitment, up to and including marriage, any kind of peace, joy. This can be about a home. So like having bought a home, moved, had a change in your lifestyle, an improvement. Cohabitation, all of these things represented by the Four of Fire. But more importantly, is it connects to this again in a progression up from the Three of Fire. So this was, we were making progress here in our lives, whatever it is we were working on, that, in order to bring ourselves some joy and help to restore peace to ourselves, having taken the reins of our own lives back into our own hands. Whatever he was working on in that regard, successfully completed. And that may too be attached to the karmic completion as well, that was evident from that second spread. For you, the Knight of Air, intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless, and representative of the air sign that we've been seeing evidence of the whole time. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options so you can come up with creative solutions. The Knight of Air, in addition to being someone who rushes, to the event, whether it's like half cocked or not, they don't mind, is a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, is someone likened to those traits or attributes. It may also be connected to this communication. Again, air signs all about communication. And to the masculine, from the romance angels. Yep, codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. Well, codependency and addictions, sometimes the first thing we think about is like substance abuse, and that can be part of it. That can be the case for some people and some of the time. But when the codependency card shows up, it's not, and mentions even the addictions, it's not necessarily that. It's any person, place, or thing upon which we are codependent, meaning upon which we have a toxic dependency requirement, or vice versa, something or someone rather codependent upon us. That can come with a party of three, with a, a situation with an ex or a family member or a friend. We can have toxic friendships too. So again, like I was saying, I felt that this soulmate, having more than one meaning, that it was also coming in, having something to do with a quote unquote karmic soulmate. Codependency there. And maybe having changed living situations, and or even if it just meant like ridding myself of a particular type of energy, so that I can be at peace with myself and in my home, that may have happened or soon to happen. And lastly, for you from the romance angels, playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So if you're wondering, how do I get back? How do I initiate if I do want to make contact? You don't come out, guns a-blazing, talking about all the heavy stuff that's transpired and heavy energy. Lighthearted, like the energy of a mutable sign, right? A Gemini, a Sagittarius. That two energies we've seen quite a bit of in this reading. A Virgo, we saw that too, the Page of Earth. Or even a Pisces. Right? The mutable signs, they're forever young. They're youthful, they're playful. I can get quite silly. Take on that energy so that you at least break the ice, so to speak. And, then you should be able to go on from there, just drawing upon the chemistry that you have together. I hope that you enjoy your reading and find it helpful, dear. Namaste, Angel.